Yo, what's down everyone? Welcome to the top 5 projected items which you may not know about. So pretty much number 1 is the light bulb. Now a lot of people don't really think this item is projected, but just simply looking at the wrap chart you can tell that it is. Look, here it sold for 2k, then it took like 2 months for it to sell for 2k again, and then here it sold like 1 day after, and then the next day it sold 7 times for 11k. So pretty much the value of this was like maybe 2k, and then it got projected, and now its wrap is 7k, and it actually does get like 7k offers, because no one knows that it's projected. And since this item is so rare and so old, it only has 323 known users who own it, and like most of those guys are probably like inactive, they probably quit a long time ago. And since it's that old and has that many sold, it's quite easy to project. One time I told this guy that it was projected, and then he's like, nah, it's not. But it is. 7 sold in 1 day for 9k over the wrap. Kind of suspicious, right? Coming in at number 2 is Robolton's Sage Hen. If you look at the wrap chart, you can see it before and after. So pretty much, this was like, maybe probably like 1k wrap. And then here, 6 sold for like, what is that, 1.3k. So by this time, it already like doubled the wrap. A few days later, it sold again for 650. And then the next sale was 48k. Not only once, but 7 times. This hack got projected like crazy. I remember its wrap went up to like 20k or something like that. I don't even remember, but it went really high. And this is quite a well-known projected item, but some people may not know about it. And its wrap is still 6k, and it's been like that for quite a while now. If you look here, it doesn't even sell that often for under the wrap. Right now it's 2.5k and it's not even selling, so its wrap is probably gonna stay like that for quite some time. That's why it's a pretty tricky limited. Now an item which you may not believe is projected, and this is the Black Iron King of the Night. Now when this item came out, it was selling for crazy amounts, like 26k, and that was actually a legit price, because when it first came out, it had so much hype, everyone was trying to get it. But then a few days later, it dropped to like under 5k at some periods, like 3k, wow. Then some guy realized that this item had so much hype when it came out, and he believes that he can bring it back up, which he did do. From this point, when it was up for 5k, it sold, and then after like 6 days, it didn't sell, but when it did, it randomly sold 5 times in 1 day. From selling 0 times in 5 days to then just selling 5 times in 1 day, that's a little suspicious, you know? Then after he noticed that it wasn't selling, he bought 3 more for 8.5k just to bring some more attention so it'll hit the front page. Then once it dropped by a little bit, he bought 3 more again. Then just sort of naturally sold here. And then once it dropped again, the guy who projected it bought 5 more. And pretty much every time the projector sees that it's dropping, he just buys like 5 more. This guy has a lot of money to work with. Now on this day, it sold 3 times for 7.5k after not selling for like 5 days again. And then the next day it sold like 4 times for 8.5k. And at this point the price rose by like 7k from its regular price. Then he bought it a few more times for 14k again, just to raise the wrap. And pretty much every time the price drops, this guy just buys like 5 of them to bring it back up. So it sort of is projected, but it wasn't a projection which was done in 1 day. It was done in multiple days throughout like 90 days, actually less than 90 days actually, more like 45 days. He made the wrap go from like 7k to 14k, and you know, if you ask a couple of people, they will probably say that the value 20 to 25k, but in reality it's actually projected and no one really knows about it. This is like a world record projection. This has been projected for the past 180 days, and its wrap hasn't even dropped. It's so crazy that someone could get away with this. Usually if you project an item, it drops in like 5 days. But this one has been 180 days. It is so crazy. Its wrap right now is 4.5k-ish, and it's projected. The original price was like, I forgot what it was, but I have a screenshot for proof. I think its original price was like 1,000 before the projection. And now the wrap is like 5k and it gets 5k offers. It rarely sells though. Look, in the past 30 days, from this point to this point, it took forever. It took half a month to sell. But at this point, it was selling quite often. And even recently, once the projector actually noticed that it was dropping, he bought it 7 times for 9k. That's pretty much double the wrap just to bring its wrap back up. And this has pretty much been stable for 180 days, which is so crazy. Now that's not number one. Number one is this, the tasteful top hat. Now this top hat, you may be like, you know, it doesn't really seem projected, right? Like, not that many sold, you know. 350 sold in total. It's pretty rare, you know. It could have that price, but no. This hat was actually hoarded and then projected by this one guy. This one guy has over 80% of them, which is so crazy. Pretty much no one can fight back because this guy just has so many of them. He has 292 out of 350. That's such a crazy amount. Now, there's no proof on the wrap chart that it did get projected, and I don't have any screenshots of it, but trust me, it is projected. This guy has over 80% of them. And other top hats, which look better, have less sales, or like 1/5 of the wrap of this. So that comparison right there sort of shows proof that it is projected. And here's a little bonus projection. This right here is the Gadgetron 2700. And look, before the projection, it was selling for like 1K. Barely. It was selling for like 1K every few days, and it was just terrible. Then one day this guy bought 5 of them in order to project it, but that didn't really work out too well. So later on this person bought 4, and it didn't really work out too well again. This guy really wanted to project it, so he bought 2 for 7K, which at the time was probably like 5K above its wrap, probably even more actually. And then a few days later he bought it 3 times for 5K. And now the wrap is a stable 3,152, even though it should be like at under 1K. That is it for this top 5. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, then leave a like. Okay, thank you very much. See you later, guys.